Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Santa's Workshop here. If you notice, this isn't my shop. No, this is Santa's World Headquarters. This is the area that I built so I could do video calls with kids. We're here at the North Pole. As a few of you have heard, I ran into some medical problems and not going to have a video out in the shop this Sunday. It hurts. Oh, it hurts. Literally, physically, and emotionally. But, hey, I'd rather spend a couple of days off of it and be back at it than ignore it and be out for 2 or 3 months. So, that's what it is. I do have a little TikTok video describing, what's going on. So, head over to my TikTok, Santa's Workshop 64, if you want to check that out. First and foremost, happy Father's Day to all you dads out there. I'm one myself. I've got 2 daughters. They're both grown. I've got 5 grandkids. So, I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have them. So, as I said, happy Father's Day. Another thing that I want to do is I want to give a shout out to a friend of mine. It's somebody I've never got to meet in person, but we connected on Facebook. He is a fellow Santa Claus and lives in Japan. His name is Kazuo Yagi. I do hope I pronounced that right. But if you ever get a chance to check out some of his pictures, oh my gosh, he's a Japanese Santa Claus and he is phenomenal. But he's a great guy. And I also have my link to my my Santa Claus page, www.northpolecalling.com. It's down below. We can start booking right now for Christmas if you wish. So, all that being said, I'm going to take this opportunity to give you a little bit of history about Santa's Workshop. Many have wanted to know what my work history is, how I got to know all this stuff. Well, it all started with my dad. If you look back and see my legacy video, I've been handing him wrenches ever since I could pick one up. The first body job I remember working on him with was a 1949 Chevy 5-window cab. And he almost had it ready for paint and got the opportunity to sell it, and it went to a no home before he got to finish. Then local lumber company here in town, one of their trucks got wrecked. We fixed it right out in our driveway, put a cab on it. So that was my first cab clip before I was ever in high school. So I remember doing that very well, and that's where I got the measure twice, cut once video. My dad, bless his heart, he measured the bottom of it wrong and cut it 2 inches too short. So we had to do a 2-inch strip all the way across the floorboard, putting it back together. That was an experience that I will not forget, and that is main thing that I want to push in my videos is once you have an experience, whether it is good or bad, learn from it. Learn from it and don't ever do it again. But all those experiences, all that has made me who I am. I graduated high school in 1982. In my senior year, I started in Mid-America Vocational Technical School in Auto Body. Wonderful teacher named J.C. Dew. He is no longer with us, but he was an old school hot rodder. He had cars in Carcraft magazine and a couple of other restoration magazines. I can't remember the names, but he is the one who taught me about leading. In my second year in tech school, I was an adult student, so I went all day. And during our lunch hour, which was, I think it was either an hour and a half or 2.5 hours long, can't remember, it's been a while, he taught me and another adult student how to lead. and gave me his leading tools. Sadly, they have since been lost. I still have a few of them, but not enough to actually do a complete leading job. And it's been since then since I've done it, so I probably have forgotten most everything I know. But from that, I graduated there in 1983, got my first job in a body shop in early 85. Don White Pontiac Buick GMC in Ardmore, Oklahoma, working in their body shop. I was there with two other body men. One was the manager, body man, then another body man. 6 months into being there, they both got mad at the owner and quit, leaving me. I instantly become the body shop manager. So I learned not only how to really do body work there, I also learned to write estimates, how to keep the books, everything. I think I worked there for 2 months by myself, doing all the body work, doing the estimates, everything. He sold out the body shop to another body shop who, made the contract to do the dealership's body work. Worked for them for about a year until the oil boom went out, and we were all sitting around looking at each other, wondering what to do. Then I got a job in Sherman, Texas at a rebuilder shop. We were building Toyota Tercels. He'd buy one hit in the front, one hit in the back, cut them in half, put them together. We were knocking out 7 cars a week out of that shop, me and him. And there's one other part-time body man who would come in and help us when we were really busy. So I learned quite a bit in that experience. Went from there, went to another rebuilder shop. I'm not going to say where, because they were doing things a little shady. And the instant I found out, I packed my tools, left, and on my way home called the proper authorities and got them busted. So, yes, that's part of my life I want to forget about. From there, I went to work for my father-in-law, working in his mechanic shop, doing some body work. Then I got a job at Oklahoma City Freightliner in the body shop, building semis, semi-wrecks. That was an education because semis are completely different from cars. You think of, this big, massive, heavy truck. The body itself is very flimsily made because they are depending upon that frame and everything to protect a driver in case of a wreck. And for future reference, I'll tell you about it. I know exactly what being in a wreck in a semi is like. But going on from there, I worked there for a little over 2 years. That was when my first daughter was born. Moved back to my hometown here in Stratford. Got a job in Ada as the body shop manager for Service Chevrolet. This is what soured me on doing body work. I worked there for 9 months. By the time I got fired, I was eating 2 packs of Rolaids a day and could not handle it no more. And the reason I got fired, I found out from an insurance adjuster friend, was because I made the body shop profitable. They wanted it to lose money, thus hiring somebody young. They didn't think that I would be able to make the shop profitable. I did. They come up with a reason and fired me. Reason they fired me was I had a bout of kidney stones. I missed 2 days of work, and bye-bye. So when he came in and told me I was fired, I got up and shook his hand and said thank you. Let's see. From there, I went to work for James Supply Welding Supplies. And that's where I learned a lot about the different types of welding. Already having the body shop background, I knew about welding, but I learned even more then. I learned, what supplies you need, what rod goes to what, how to treat the gas bottles, all that stuff. And that's what got me into truck driving. I drove their transport. And after working there for a little over 2 years, I went in, asked for a raise. They told me they couldn't afford to. Found out the owner was building a vacation home in Colorado. So, yep, I left there and I went to driving my dad's truck. My dad hauled propane. And I'm not talking the little short truck that brings it to your house. I'm talking the big truck that hauls it to the dealerships to bring it to your house. And he would haul from refinery to refinery. So that's what I started doing. And I drove his truck for about 2 years, and the business fell off. Went to work for another company. Drove for them for, oh my goodness, I think it was 9 years I drove for them, and then I hurt my back. Ended up having a truck wreck in 2001. It was a pretty vicious wreck. I'll throw a picture in here. Walked away from it by the grace of God. I lost my dad in 2000. 2001's when I had the truck wreck. My wife had a stroke in 2002 because she had gotten allergic to latex, and as being a nurse working in the emergency room, she got allergic to latex and took a shot of epinephrine, and her blood pressure was high. She didn't know it, and blew a vessel in the left side of her brain, so she was completely paralyzed on the right side. And in 2004, I was getting out of my truck down in Ardmore when my feet slipped out from under me, but I caught myself on the rail and messed up 10 discs and tore a ligament in my lower back. And thus I got put on disability, and I've been struggling with that ever since. I can work for 2, 3, 4 hours at a time, but then there are days I'm down like now. So I am hoping the YouTube will bring me to the point of where I can say bye-bye to the disability, quit sending me the checks. I'm on my own again. Start, giving back to society, by taxes. But that's what I want this to accomplish. I want to accomplish this. And that brings me to another thing that kind of scares me a little bit. I'm sure a lot of you, being in the car community, has heard about the RPM Act. There's been 2 other YouTubers who have been severely fined by the EPA. I don't do this myself because, number one, I don't have the money to do it, but they have been, performance upgrading vehicles, and the EPA is now saying that anything that has had a VIN number, you stop and think about that. All the way back to the beginning of automotive history, when they started putting the vehicle identification number, they're saying that we are not allowed to modify the emissions in any way, shape, or form. I'm wanting to put turbos on my Mustang. Is that going to modify the emissions? Yes. But it'll make it more efficient. It adds air, it burns the fuel, it makes everything burn, cleaner. Will it make it faster? Of course it will. Will it make it burn more gas when you put your foot in it? Heck yeah. But it will be a more efficient than the naturally aspirated 3.8 V6 in it that's in it right now. So everybody look up the RPM Act, sign the petition, contact your local congressman, representative, whoever. Let them know that, we, the people of the United States of America, want to play with our cars. I mean, they start this. When is suspension upgrades going to start being, outlawed? When is changing the paint going to start being outlawed? I mean, it's billion-dollar culture that they're fighting against, and it scares me because I'm just now starting this YouTube thing. I don't want to be put out of business before I get anywhere. But by Monday, I will be back on my feet. I'll be back out there. I told you the next video on that El Camino I was going to be putting the roof on. I forgot one important thing. I've got to treat all that rust first. So the next video I will be treating the rust, getting the rust wire wheeled out, putting the rust treatment on it. Me and Randy went and got all the parts, all the stuff we needed. I'll be getting that done. We'll be going around trying to find every little bit. Got the weld through primer. This thing's going to be done, and it's going to be done right, because I do not like cutting corners. But I've just told you a little part about what I did. After I got hurt on the truck, I'd been sitting for about 2 years. Well, back up. 2002, when my wife had the stroke. This was later in the year. I was still driving the truck, and we had went to Medieval Times down in Dallas, probably 6 months before she had the stroke. If you've never been to Medieval Times, go. That place is a blast. And it got me really fired up about the Renaissance era. Medieval Times, that's the name. And we wanted to go to a Renaissance fair. Never been to one. And I'm on the phone talking to my wife while out driving the truck, and I tell her, I say, the school is all the time falling short on their budget. Somebody needs to put on a medieval Renaissance fair for the school. When I got home that night, she says, well, we're putting on a Renaissance fair. And I went, what? And sure enough, she had got on the computer, contacted several people who perform in our Norman medieval fair. They joined together and helped us put on a medieval fair. I went from had never been to one to being the king of this fair. So that was starting my life in the Renaissance fair in 2002. We got to hanging out with a couple of the groups and going to different fairs with them, having just a blast. And then I hurt myself. Went from there to, there was this company that made leather goods for Renaissance fairs. A place called Daily Express. Their company's called Ren Boots. And he contacted me. He said, would you like to learn how to do leather working? And I went, sure, why not? I'd taught myself a little bit of leather working while I was driving the truck, just to have something to do when I was waiting to load and unload. So I went to work for there. I worked for them part-time for 13 years, making leather goods for Renaissance fairs. I got to go to different festivals all over the country, wore a kilt. Yes, gentlemen, I wore a skirt. And I sold them to men just like you who thought I would never wear a skirt. When I got done with you, you would. But anyways, that was a very fun part of my time of my life, and that taught me a lot of new skills. I've learned upholstery work, how to sew leather together, how to do patterns. I learned how to do custom jewelry. I've done steampunk. If you don't know what steampunk is, Google that. It's really cool. See, leatherwork, custom jewelry, and of course, I'm Santa. That's Santa's Workshop. Started that in, let me think, 2004? Yes, 2004. I started being Santa. So 16, 17 years ago now. Oh my goodness, time flies. I'm what you call a premier. Excuse me, hang on. Sonic, not sponsored. I'm what you call a premier Santa. I'm not the typical Coca-Cola mall Santa that you would see. The outfit that I have is custom made for me. It is just the coat, vest, hat, pants, shirt. Just that is $1,500. Then you add on the leather boots, the belts, all the little accessories, my naughty and nice cane that I created myself. You're looking at probably $2,500 to $3,000 investment. And I've got a phenomenal photographer. I've been working with her now for over 5 years. She's just it. Her name's Jessie. Her business is called Bird Nest Baby. She does free photo shoots for veterans, and what she does, she loves the World War II and the Vietnam veterans, and she wants to get their stories on film, and she does all this for free. She's a wonderful, wonderful person. She's like the Energizer Bunny. I don't think I've ever seen her sit and rest. She's just constantly going. She's also a school teacher, and she's just it. But I thought about tying what I know, what I do, my passion into my passion for Santa, and keeping this channel as G-rated as possible, so the kids can see what Santa does when he's not delivering presents. I mean, this room you're looking at, all this wood is pallet wood. I took the pallets apart, I planed them down, I stained them, cut them to fit. The shelving, all the shelves back here, that's all pallet wood. I made all that myself. There's been many, say, or I had one person say, why don't you watch a body man? Okay, I love watching other craftsmen. I get ideas from everybody I watch. Everything I see, I learn from. My experiences, other people, I learn. Everything I learn. And I saw something on Facebook the other day. It says, in 4 words, give somebody the best advice you can. I said, ears open, mouth shut. Stop, listen to the world around you, learn all you can, because I'll never stop learning. If somebody wants to give me an idea, by golly, I'll listen to it. Heck, I'll try it. And if that don't work, I'll go back to what I'm doing. If I look at it and I look it through and I can see that it's not going to work for my deal, it's not that I ignored anybody. I thought about it. I looked at it. It just ain't going to work for this. So, all the negative comments, keep them coming. But if you're just going to sit there and bash me, I'll just ignore it. I'll just delete it. But if you got a, true comment, say, hey, have you tried this? I'll say, no, I haven't. That's a good idea. Let me see what I can do about that. And I'll try. I want this YouTube channel to be about everybody, not me. These are my projects. This is stuff that I do. I just want to share it. I just want it to go. I've got all this experience, and I feel like it has led me here. I've been put in a unique opportunity that I can do this. And I just want all y'all with me. Thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for watching this if you watched it all the way through. I know I'm boring. But please like, subscribe, share this thing. Share it with everybody. All they can do is say, that ain't for me. Click. They're gone. But there's a whole wide world out there. Billions of people. I mean, I know there's people out there who will love this content. There'll be people who like me. There'll be people who hate me. But that's life. And I just want y'all to know the leg is getting better. I'll be back on my feet here in a couple of days, and you know, this will happen again. It will happen again. I'm like a 57-year-old car. I'm falling apart, and replacement pieces are not available. So I got to repair what I can and just keep on rolling. But thank you. Like, subscribe. We'll see you next time. Santa's Workshop.